Yeah. Turn the static down. Turn the truth up. 'Cause progress ain't numbers, it's outcomes. And outcomes don't lie. Education stacking papers like it's proof of a mind. But more degrees every year, more kids left behind. More pressure, more panic, more breakdowns at night. Call it future ready, but nobody feeling right. Mental health clinics full, diagnosis on repeat. More labels, more pills, but the pain don't retreat. Side effects stacking higher than the hopes they sell. You treat the symptom, not the system, that's how cycles swell. Hospitals pack, more treatments, more scans. But chronic illness rising like it's built in the plan. Science publishing papers like confetti in the wind. Contradictions every week. Where do we begin? Every system claim progress, but the pattern's the same. More input, more output, but the outcome's pain. If the cure makes more patients, then the cure ain't real. That's not progress, that's a treadmill with a steering wheel. You call it progress, but the people ain't better. You call it evolution, but the chains ain't severed. If the system makes the sickness, then the cure ain't clever. That's not progress, that's pressure dressed as effort. You call it progress, but the stress don't drop. You call it innovation, but the harm don't stop. If the outcome ain't healing, then the methods are flop. That's not progress, that's a cycle you forgot. Yeah.
Progress ain't a headline, a gadget, a trend. Progress ain't a graph that you twist to defend. Progress ain't a pill that you push for the check. Progress ain't a study that you quote for respect. Progress ain't a metric if the people still break. Progress ain't a promise if the promise is fake. Progress ain't a system built on fear of the fall. Progress ain't a tower where you can't hear the call. If the numbers look clean but the humans don't heal, then the data ain't truth, it's a highlight reel. Education feeds the stress, stress feeds the meds, meds feed the clinics, clinics feed the threads, science feeds the papers, papers feed the fame, fame feeds the funding, funding feeds the game. Every system linked like a chain on the wrist. Call it progress if you want, but the pattern persists. If the outcome is harm, then the method is wrong. If the people ain't stronger, then the system ain't strong. Progress is alignment, not a title or degree. Progress is a person who can breathe and feel free. Progress is a system where the weakest don't drown. Progress is a method where the truth ain't shut down. Progress is a teacher who sees more than a grade. Progress is a doctor who don't treat you like a trade. Progress is a culture where the outcome is checked, where intention ain't enough if the impact's a wreck. Progress is simple, but the ego resists. It's the courage to admit what the data missed. You call it progress, but the people ain't better. You call it evolution, but the chains ain't severed. If the system makes the sickness, then the cure ain't clever. That's not progress, that's pressure dressed as effort. You call it progress, but the stress don't drop. You call it innovation, but the harm don't stop. If the outcome ain't healing, then the methods are flop. That's not progress, that's a cycle you forgot. Progress ain't a claim, it's a consequence, and the consequences don't lie. Progress ain't a claim, it's a consequence, and consequences don't lie.